Welcome everybody. I am super excited for today's stream and thank you everybody. I see a lot of people like I am Legend, Chaman. I'm just using your names that I see at top. Jivanshu, thank you for joining in. It means a lot that all of you are here. And it means a lot because this is Friday night there. You guys could be doing anything you wanted. You guys could be, chosen to watch Mirzapur or something, like rewatch it. I love that show, right? Watch Kalin Bhaiya again. But instead, you chose to invest in yourself and attend the stream. So for me, it means a lot. And also for you, you're deciding to definitely up your game when it comes to public speaking. So today, what I want to talk about is hello, Fatima. Thank you for joining in. Um, Niladri, I hope I got your name right. Sai Priya, thank you for joining as well. Just waiting for a few more minutes for a lot more people to join. But just to set the context, today what I want to talk about is um, hit the like button, like button, Amit. Thank you. Yes. So today what I want to talk about is something very important. Whether you're a designer, creative, is basically mastering and getting better at the art of public speaking, right? Because all of us have ideas. All of us have these amazing ideas that we want to talk about. We have things we're excited about. We have goals that we want to achieve, right? Saksham just joined in, everyone. So Saksham might have goals that, okay, I want to get to this level in my career. Or Asha might be like, I want to be a designer managing a bunch of people as well. And whatever your goal is, a lot of that basically relies on the fact that it's your ability to communicate. You have to be in a position where you can articulate what you're thinking and also be able to speak in a way that captivates people. And Shashi, thank you so much that you love the Design MBA cap. There's no plans to do any merch right now, but this is just something I've done for branding purposes for now. So, what I want to do is I want to set the base standard first. Like, this is who I am right now. I'm speaking, right? Am I nervous? Absolutely. Like, one of the things that people think at public speaking is that if you do it for years and years, you get to this point where you're not nervous anymore. I wouldn't say that you are never nervous. Like, even if I'm doing this live stream, right? The level, the levels at which you get nervous. So let's say that if the first time when I spoke in my school, Prakash School in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, right? So hey Devang, so I was really like nervous as hell. I was really scared. I was on stage, there's assembly, and everybody was there, and I was really, really nervous at that point. Like, what are these people gonna think? What if I slip up? And I actually wrote down. I don't have it now, but I used to write down here. Like, these are my bullet points, and I would look at it and I would say it out. At that point, my nervousness levels were at like about 110 out of 100. At this point, the nervousness factor is at about like 5 or 7 out of 100, right? And it's more to do with technical issues that could come up, but not with the fact that I have to, speak in front of people that I'm meeting for some of you for the first time. So with the more and more you practice public speaking, it gets to the point where you still feel nervous, but the thing is that level goes down. So it never goes away. So that's the first misconception I want to clear. Like, it never just goes away, right? You will still feel that a little bit, but with more practice, you're like, okay, you know what? I can do this. That's the key thing, the practice. So what I want to do is show you all like this essence. Like, this is a video that's going to be like more than 10 years old. It's going to show you how I used to be at public speaking. And it is very embarrassing for me to watch that video, but I'll still watch it with all of you. And it basically will show you how horrible I was. Horrible is not, but how you should suck at public speaking. So I want to show you all that video. So how many of you actually want to see that video? Because I have that video pulled up and I can just show all of you. So if you want to see that video, let me know in the comments if you want to see that video, and I'll just like play that video real quick. Let's see. How many of you are excited to see that video? So I see more likes. Let me show you guys that video. +1. Okay, Devang is like, I want to see that video. Awesome. Thank you, Devang. That's what I wanted to hear. Yes, please. Sweet. All right. Very embarrassing for me. I know it's very embarrassing, but I'm still gonna do it. Avinash, yes, we're gonna see this video now. So, for some people who might be joining in now, what I'm gonna show is show you all a video 10 years ago when I was just getting started with public speaking. So then you can see the difference now as I'm speaking to you and then before. So this is this video, and I think you should be able to hear the sound if I'm not mistaken. I don't know exactly, but this is the link. Let me share this link as well in the chat, because if for some reason the audio is not able to play, then at least you guys have this video to, so to speak. And yeah. So this is the link that I just shared in the chat with everyone. And this, basically this link is something all of you can watch. Right now I'm going to try to play it on my end, but what I don't know is that if the sound is going to come through. So let me try that and see if this actually plays through. So hello everyone, my name is Jainil. Welcome to your first tutorial on the Panda board. In this tutorial, I'll be talking about what is the Panda board, why you should use the Panda board, what are the different operating systems supported by the Panda board. So let me ask you a quick question to all of you. Can you all actually hear the audio that's coming from this clip? Just let me know in the comments so then I can continue to play that. Just want to make sure about that. If you guys are able to actually hear the audio from this. Sound is coming. Okay, cool. I'll just go back to it. Okay, cool. Then we will see the major features offered by the Panda board and the reason why it is very popular. Then I will give you a live demo of Ubuntu 12.04 running on the Panda board. Then I will discuss a few applications you can make using the Panda board. Before I start this tutorial, I would like to thank SV Tronics for sponsoring the Panda board for my research. So now, let us... So, if you look at that one, that was basically me. I think about almost 10 years ago. So my first question for all of you is, do you notice a difference between that video, who I was, and now that I'm talking? Do you notice any difference? And if you notice a difference, what is the difference do you notice now? Just let me know in the comments. And I'm going to make this very engaging. So it's like, it's not just going to be me like just talking and stuff. There's going to be a lot of Q&As as well and stuff. But I just want it to be like two-way street where you guys are sharing with me in the comments or actively engaged in the comments. So it helps me understand how to proceed forward. So confidence, okay. Shashi's like confidence. Yes. So Sashi, in that video, dude, I was fucking terrified, bro. Like, my brother was recording that video, dude. I was completely like, so like, what's gonna happen? That was like the 10th or the 12th take. I had to redo it so many times. Yes, Sai, I might do one future session on the accent. After I moved to the US, I had to work on that as well for, yes, confidence, yes. So it's like in that video, when I was there, it was like, imagine like there was like a teleprompter in front of me. There was like this screen that was telling me what to read and I was just reading. It was more like, today we're going to talk about design. Design is a good tool. Design is something that can help you. And today we're going to talk about public speaking. What is public speaking? Public speaking is this. I was literally reading. See, reading is not a speaking. When you're just reading, you're just reading. You're reading out loud. You're not speaking. And that was the main difference there. I was not confident. I had all these inner like demons, like what are people going to think? How are they going to judge me? Are they going to think that I am a fraud? And when you don't really own what you're saying and you're not confident about it, the people that are watching you, whether it's in a stage, whether it's somewhere else, they can sense it. And when they can sense it, they're like, so if Sujay is basically speaking, for example, right? Today I'm using an example. And he is not confident, just like I was not confident in that video at all. Then Sai and Devang are going to be like, why should we listen to Sujay? Sujay is not at all like confident in what he's saying. Doesn't matter what he's saying, doesn't matter what he's saying, but he himself is not confident in what he's saying. He's not having fun. So if he's not having fun, why should we have fun? Why should we listen to him? And that's one of the main other tenets you'll realize is that with a lot of public speaking, you have to get comfortable in your own skin. Whether it's the way you speak, whether it's your accent, whether you do something weird when you're on, whatever that is, you have to first embrace that. And the biggest thing to realize that is when you're on stage or when you're speaking in front of a crowd, there's going to be a part of brain inside you that's going to say, Are yaar, log kya sochenge? Damn dude, these people are going to laugh at me. They're probably judging me right now. And at that point, the biggest thing I realized is that nobody's actually thinking that. When I'm speaking, for example, a part of my brain could be, oh, you know what? What is this? What is Shaman thinking about it? What is Asha thinking? What is Faizan gonna think? Are they probably thinking that, oh, I'm just whatever, like they're probably laughing at me now. So part of my brain will create scenarios like that. But then I have to shut it off and realize that nobody actually is thinking like that. It's just all in my head. And the biggest reason why a lot of people just are terrified of public speaking is because they're not terrified of public speaking, so to speak. They're terrified of what people will judge them. We want that acceptance. We want that validation. And that's the number one thing is like with public speaking, you're not really afraid of public speaking. You're afraid of how people are going to perceive you. So if I'm here thinking that everyone has to like my stream, everyone has to like love what I'm saying, then of course what's going to happen is I'm going to be terrified to even come on live and speak to all of you. So that's one of the biggest things with public speaking is you have to get over that fear that people are going to judge you. They're going to judge you either ways. That's how people are. And you have to get to the point where you're comfortable to talk about what you want to talk about. And there will be a lot of courses out there that will teach you like how to speak like, like Casino, how to speak like, this so-and-so speaker and become really good at it. I'm going to tell you the reality of this shit. You can buy any courses you want. You can spend thousands of dollars on this course. Some of them will help you. I'm not saying all of them are bullshit. But if you look at the essence of all of this course, take the best one, take whatever the least popular one, take the $10 one on Udemy. Seeing someone do it is not going to do you any good. You can listen to the best public speaker in the world, but it's not going to do you anything. The key essence behind this is actually practice. Is literally practice. It takes years and years of practice. Practice for me was starting all the way from Ahmedabad. It was pushing myself to get in front of like crowds. Whether it was at school, whether it's in front of relatives, like we would all get together, cousins and relatives, right? And I would always force myself to speak something or do something where a lot of people are watching. 5-10 cousins are watching me, right? So the first fear for me was like, how do I do it in front of crowd? The second practice after that became, okay, now I'm at least comfortable speaking in front of the crowd, but I don't have the confidence. I need to practice. So what I would do is I would actually practice in front of the mirror when I'm in the bathroom. So when I'm actually going on trips with people, people are like, yo, why are you like singing or shouting in the shower? But I am practicing. I'm literally practicing. So the second part is practicing now on how you deliver your speech. And you need feedback. You can have friends that can help you. So for example, let's say that Shashi and Yash are in the same city. So they can get together for coffee and Shashi will speak and then Yash will speak and they both will give each other feedback, right? But now, if you don't have anyone to rely on, what do? What I did was very simple. I would just speak in front of the mirror. So let's say today's topic was a random topic, right? So I will actually speak for 5 minutes on that random topic in front of the mirror. That's what I would do. Literally just 5 minutes. Then what I started doing was I took my phone and I just started like recording myself. I'll put the phone here and I'll record myself for 5 minutes. And when you watch your own videos, your own audition tapes, so to speak, you yourself can realize, oh, there, I did this. I shouldn't do that. I should drink some water. So you will course correct yourself even before going to all these experts. So these are all the things you yourself can think about. So what I want you to do now is like one of you, give me a random topic. Like give me just completely random topic. Like completely random, whatever you want me to talk about. I mean, as long as it's acceptable. Just put that in the chat and I'll instantly speak about it for a few minutes. And I'll walk you through how this process goes in my head. Or like what is going through my head when I start to speak about that topic. Because a lot of things about public speaking is sometimes it's practice, sometimes it's about being spontaneous. Like on the spot, you have to talk about a topic. So how do you do that? So go ahead and just put automobile. Okay. So Shashi has an amazing example like automobile. So here's what's happening. As Shashi is giving me this topic, like okay, I have to give a 5 minute talk on automobile. So the number one thing is I have to first find some area in me that's passionate about this. Like what do I want to talk about? What is my Faizan is like marketing, right? That's also another one. Augmented reality. Oh, Varun, there we go, Varun. You know what? Talk about the future of UX. Anime. Oh my god. So one of my favorite anime shows, Sai is Hungry Heart, is actually about soccer. It's an amazing show, Hungry Heart. Check it out if you get time. Crypto. Oh my god. Actually, I can go forever on and on about crypto. Joshua, welcome to the stream. So Varun's like augmented reality. Now there's a couple of things about these topics, right? With augmented reality, if I have experienced that, like if I have actually done something in AR and augmented reality, I can talk about the technical part of it. So one of the things I have to see is who is my audience? Are they technical people? If they're technical people and I don't have any technical experience with augmented reality, then I'm just bullshitting at that point. So then it's probably not a good idea to speak in front of a technical developers who have actually worked on augmented reality. But if it's just us and we're just chilling, then yeah, I can speak anything about augmented reality, my passion for it, right? Automobile. Now, automobile, like Shashi, is a very generic, like concept. I can speak to anyone about it. You can speak to anyone about it. You can just say anything you want. It's not really technical. It's just very chill. So the first thing that comes to mind is when I think about speaking about automobile is okay, what is what is my stance? What is the message I'm trying to communicate? Right? So I go from that perspective. It's not like, okay, so automobiles are really good, automobiles are awesome, I like this automobile, and the goal is not to keep on using the word automobile again and again. The goal for me is to, let's say Parth is in the audience and listening, right? He's listening right now. So my goal is, what is my belief about automobile, and how do I want to convey that one core belief to Parth? Let's say that I believe that automobiles are not good for health because you get lazy. Let's say that's my belief. Let's say my belief is that I think automobiles should not be used that much because they cause pollution and they're not healthy. Instead, people should walk more. Let's say that's my agenda. So then the way I go about is literally I storyboard this. I literally storyboard this. I map through my head like what is the theme. So what I'm going to walk you through is I'm going to actually open up Figma and I'm going to walk you through literally like if this is assuming that, so there are two versions. Actually, let me do this. There are two versions. One is instantaneous version where Parth is like, do it right now. Like you have 30 seconds to start speaking about automobiles. That's one version. The second version is Parth is like, you have 2 days to speak. Both are different. Both are different categories, right? So welcome Karthikeya. So in the first category, let's say I have to speak right now. So the first thing I'll do is, and some of this might be a little bit advanced stuff. You don't have to do this right away. So my first things when I do public speaking is to resonate with the audience. So if I was in the room, I would say, Karthikeya, tell me about your favorite automobile. That's what I would ask him. Right? So Karthikeya, tell me what is your favorite car or your favorite automobile? I'll just wait for a few seconds for Karthikeya to respond in the comments about his favorite automobile. It can be a scooter, it can be a car, it can be a dream car, Karthikeya, doesn't matter. And while Karthikeya is typing, if somebody wants to share their favorite automobile, go ahead as well. Parth, feel free to put your favorite automobile as well in the comment. Like, what is your favorite automobile? So let's assume Tesla Model X. Okay, Karthikeya is okay. Karthikeya is gone for the roof. Like, yeah. So one of my cousins, Karthikeya, actually just bought the Tesla Model X. I was in it. It was actually very good, very nice car. It's insane. Like the self-driving and the minimalism inside is amazing. So the first thing that I did was I actually asked everyone, resonate with the crowd, right? So when I'm speaking about automobiles, the first thing I'll do in the crowd is ask someone a question. So all of you, what is your favorite car? Right? And then Parth would say Ferrari Spider. A lot of you said Tesla. So what's happening is the first thing I'm doing is I'm building resonance with the crowd. I'm maintaining eye contact. Now this is obviously live. So in this one, I cannot really see your faces. So the way I have to build is no matter whether I'm doing this live or I'm doing this in person in a room or I'm doing this with colleagues at work, there has to be some sort of like resonance. You have to build that bond. You have to build that connection. Yes, Parth, there is a little bit of delay. I don't know if that's just like the software, why it's having a delay or why it's like that. But yeah, I don't think it's just real time. There's definitely a little bit of delay. And it could be just my old computer. So the first thing is you have to build that resonance. You have to build that connection. And the thing is, after you build that connection, then you can go forward. So my first thing would be, okay, asking the audience, like, what is your favorite automobile? And then they would say that, yes, my favorite automobile is this. And then I would express my views on it. That, yes, oh, you know what? I love the Tesla Model X. So now there is a similarity. Everybody's in the same wavelength, so to speak. Right? Size like any electric vehicle is fascinating. Once that connection is built, then what I like to do is own up. So this requires a lot of confidence, because if you're not confident, it's very hard to pull this off. Your mind will tell you to just launch, literally launch in this rant for 3-4 minutes. That basically is like, automobiles are good for you. Automobiles are, like you shouldn't use automobiles, and just like going like that. But what you have to do here is actually pause and speak slowly and actually think through what is your goal that you were trying to do from 5 minutes. And my view is, in 5 minutes, I want to convey the fact that instead of using automobiles, walk, because it's healthy. So then what I would say is, I would ask a question. I would say, imagine or think for a second, how lazy are we? How lazy are we? How much time do we end up sitting in our chairs, in front of our computers? How much time are we spending just sitting at home and watching TV on our phones? How much exercise are we getting? And think about how much time are we just sitting in an automobile or driving one? But what if, whenever possible, we stop using the automobile and walk and get some exercise? Okay, time out. So right there, if this was a 5-minute talk, within the first minute or so, I've communicated what my point is. And I've done this in like a shock and awe manner, where basically I first build resonance by asking about their favorite car. Then I've asked about responses from all of you. And then I asked all of you a question. So now it's gotten everybody thinking, and then boom, I've revealed basically what is my main reason why I'm doing this, right? So then I go into like the pros and cons why you should automobile. And this is the part. So the starting and the ending when you're giving public speaking are very, very important. The middle is important as well, but the starting and ending are very important how you do that. So starting, I started with a question, build some resonance. I asked you all a question, like, think about this. And I'm actually getting you all to think about it. The ending, again, you want to have a call to action. So what I would do is say something like this. So next time your buddy calls you, like, yo, let's go to Domino's Pizza right next door. Or hey, let's go to the office and it's nearby. And you are grabbing your automobile keys. Stop right there. put back those automobile keys, and if possible, just walk. And you can thank me. Namaste. That's literally how I would do the ending. I know a little bit like, showy and bougie, whatever words you want to use, but that's the style that I do, because at the end of the day with public speaking, you're actually speaking in a way that's capturing people's attention. You want people to remember you. Because what's the point of doing a public speaking speech if people are not going to remember you or your message? So you have to do it in a way that literally captures people's attention. So when I go to design conferences and I really focus this experience on this part of the design, like the starting and the ending, the feeling of it, right? There's a very high chance, even though I'm not talking about a very technical topic, people will still remember me. Even if I'm talking about a technical topic, people remember like, yeah, this Indian guy came here and then he did this namaste at the end, and it was like so wow, so different and stuff. So that's basically my answer for 5 minutes. And you cannot just jump to this. You have to actually really, really focus and get to the point where you have a lot of confidence to pull this off. So one of the books I'll recommend if you all are interested in reading more about this is going to be, let me pull up this book. So this is so this book is one of the best books that I've read on public speaking. The official guide to public speaking. Actually, I can get the Amazon link. I think most of you are in India, so I think I should get the Amazon India link. So this book is the one that I read, and it really, really changed, because what it does is basically it talks about. Okay, so I think it's this is the one. Yeah, I'm just gonna share this link in the chat with everyone. But this book basically is one where I learned all these different techniques, like how should you go about doing this, and then let me take off this comment. Actually, this is not the one. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the chat. There we go. Yeah. So this book basically helped me really take my public speaking game to the next level. And what it does is it actually talks about all these different techniques, like how to open a talk, how to end a talk, and you can pick the one that's best for you. But here's the biggest concept I learned from this book. The biggest, like one thing if you could take away, it's the concept of through line. If there's one thing I want you all to take away from today's talk about how to be a better public speaker, it's through line. So what is actually through line? So I want a few people actually to just mention what is your favorite TV show. If you had to pick like your favorite TV show that you feel like binge watching, right? If I ask Sai and Parth like what is your favorite TV show that you feel like binge watching, and everybody else just drop it in the comments. Like what is your favorite TV show that you like binge watching? I know there's a bit of delay, so I'm just waiting for the answers to come in the chat. But yeah, any of your favorite TV show that comes to mind that you feel like just binge watching? Shaktiman. Oh my god, dude. Shaktiman. Oh my god, dude. I remember that show for so long, man. I would always watch that on Doordarshan. Oh, Westworld. Okay, Westworld was man, that was mind blowing. But La Casa de Papel. Okay, I haven't seen that one. Sigh. I actually have a list of like shows that I'm like now adding to like a list. Like this is what I gotta watch because I've just run out of like there's so many things people are recommending me. But let's take the example of Shaktiman. So if you think about Shaktiman, why it was popular, right? Or why it became a hit show. There is a through line. A through line is nothing but the overarching theme. Like what is the theme of Shaktiman? Theme of Shaktiman is when nobody's there to save the world and stop the villains, Shaktiman comes in. and he would like spin round and round and do it, right? So that's the theme that connects everything together in Shaktiman. Every event that's there. Like Gangadhar, I think that was his name, Gangadhar, right? And he would wear all these glasses and he would switch. So they had the main theme that there's this person who is not like a cop or something, but he is just a vigilante who's trying to save the world when nobody else is giving a shit. And every event that happens in his life in the show connects to that overarching theme. So you do not see like suddenly, like Shaktiman just like the character in Shaktiman just like doing something else is not connected to the main theme, right? So everything had to be connected to that main plot of saving the world. So you did not see a scene where Shaktiman is like, आज हम गरम बिरयानी बनाएंगे शक्तिमान के साथ, पहले थोड़ा चावल लीजिए, चावल में थोड़ा ऑयल डालिए. He would not do that because that really is not connecting with the overarching theme. Cooking doesn't connect to the theme of basically saving the world. And same thing with Friends, right? Friends, the same thing is, it's like a bunch of people together. They're trying to figure out life. They're young, they're dating, and all these things in a big city like New York, and they're trying to figure it out. Like, how do we do this? So everything kind of like aligns with that. So they're not focusing on Joey fighting Chandler and trying to like figure out who's the winner and stuff, because it's not a superhero show. It's all about friendships and figuring out life, so to speak. So when you have to do public speaking and you have some time, you have to think about is, okay, I'm giving a topic on automobile. So what is my view? What is my theme? Your theme is basically that one thing you want to convey. Like Shaktiman is saying one thing, which is basically evil will never win. Good will always trump that. That's the thing that Shaktiman is conveying, right? Right? Friends is more of like life is fun, and with friends it becomes even better. That's the thing they're communicating, right? So you have to think about what is your theme that you want to communicate. It's got to be that one thing in one line you should be able to say it. It cannot be like hundreds of things. So if you're giving a talk on automobile, you have to think like what is your one thing you want to convey, and that's your through line, that's your theme. And then what you have to do is everything you say for that 10 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, doesn't matter the duration. It has to align with that. And personally, what I believe is after 18 minutes, people start to lose attention. So which is why it's always a good idea to like give like shorter talks, because they do require more prep, but people like maintain their attention span. So then the duration of it doesn't matter, but you have to basically go to the point where you are conveying every single thing that ties to that team in that. So how would you go about doing that, right? So let me show you something real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my Figma and just basically show you like how would we actually design this experience and go about actually doing that. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm just going to show you real quick how this is going to actually happen. So if I'm in Figma, I would literally create a frame, right? So I would literally just create a frame, right? And I would say that I would literally write down here, like literally I would write down here, this is my through line. And through line would be get some exercise and don't use automobiles. So I'll literally use something like this. Then the next frame, this will be the next slide. If I'm using slides for presentation, and a lot of times you would be, and even if you're not using slides for presentation, you have to map out. You have to map out like how this progression goes. The next one would be, let's say I did ask a question. Ask audience question. What is your favorite vehicle? So I'm mapping this out, right? Then next frame, as we saw, could be the middle frame when I'm asking the question, right? Which is think for a second. So then here it would be a prompt. It would say something like, think for a second. How much do we sit? How much do we sit on our butts? Right? I just probably something like that. Something very catchy, right? So what would happen is, before I give this presentation, I would actually map this whole thing out in Figma. I'm not saying every line by line, everything I'm speaking, but just the overall like flow of it, right? When they make a movie, right? When one of my favorite directors, Amir Khan, makes a movie, right? There's some screenplay, like starting scene, middle scene, ending scene. So you have to map this out, and then you would have maybe the ending, right? So the ending would be something like, so next time you feel like going on a drive, put your keys back and walk. So I would actually map this whole thing out literally in advance. There's a lot of prep that's involved. This is the thing that people don't understand. When you want to be a good public speaker, right? At some point, yes, with a lot of practice, you can wing it, but even then, you still have to practice. So even though for today's conversation, I'm not saying that I mapped out the whole thing like this, but what I did is in my head, I actually thought through like, okay, what are some of the points I want to convey? What is the main takeaway, which is the through line I'm showing you right now, and how the intro and ending is going to go. That's it. You at least have to get that. And at some point, yes, you don't always have to do this in Figma. Eventually, you can do it in your head. But you have to map out the whole experience of that speech you're going to give. If you have time, like a few days to prepare if you're speaking at a conference. And then what I would do is, once I prepare this, I would actually give this in front of my friends. So I would actually talk to Neha and be like, Neha, are you free? Are you available for a few minutes? Sumit, are you available? Can I give this talk in front of you? And these are friends, co-workers. I will present this in front of them. And they would say, well, this was not resonating. This was not clear. So I can iterate and improve. Then I might give it in front of Bhanu and Joshua and be like, hey, this is what I think I want to talk about. What do you all think? So before my main event, Sumit, where there's going to be hundreds of people that actually see my presentation, I've actually given this talk at least 5 to 10 times in front of smaller crowds. I know exactly what jokes work. I know exactly what joke doesn't work. This is how comedians work. They go to all these small events throughout, the year, practicing, delivering, figuring out which jokes are like just not working at all, which ones are working. And then for the main event, you see, they're like, oh man, that was amazing. But that's because of all the practice. So you have to first of all design that experience, what that's going to be your through line. Then what you have to do is you have to basically then figure out, okay, now that I've done this, how am I going to practice delivering this? So that's the way that you actually go about doing this. So that's basically what I wanted to cover today. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to go to question and answer. So if you have any questions, let me know what are your questions, and then we can, open mic. Yeah, we can just do an open mic and I can answer your question. And then while we're doing that, so another thing I'll say is, I also have this free email course that's basically helping designers level up. You'll learn like 7 strategies to grow in your design career. And one of the things is about overcoming this fear of speaking and getting on stage. So I would definitely say that if you're interested, this is a free email course. Definitely sign up for it. I'm going to put this in the chat. So you can probably sign up for that as well. But yeah, let me know what are your questions and I can answer them. Yeah, this is the part where there's like a delay. So it's just like I'm just like waiting to like see like, okay, what are the questions going to be? What questions do people have? Thank you, Devang, for already enrolling in. So Bhanu has a really amazing question. Let me pull it up on screen, right? So Bhanu has an amazing question, like having a mindset of being okay with making a fool of yourself while speaking, does it help? So Bhanu, this absolutely helps a lot. It helps big time because what happens is now because you're willing to be made a fool of, you're not worried about it too much. So you will get made fun of initially, because what's happening is initially as you're practicing, some things will not go right. Bhanu, some things will not deliver. You might like freeze up. Not everybody is looking to make a fool of yourself. They're actually there to support you. Believe it or not, when people are actually there, they're willing to help you out and stuff. So just being, I would say, not made a fool of, but having a mindset where you don't care what people think about your talk, or being judged, or fear of being judged. If you have that mindset, you're going to be more than willing, right? You're going to be more than willing to go on stage and share your perspective, because you're no longer afraid of this thing like क्या सोचेंगे वो लोग, क्या करेंगे वो लोग, अरे यार, um, oh my god. So I would say definitely having that mindset will help you a long way. And Aditya, this made my day. That the fact that the free email course, you enjoyed the free email course that I just shared earlier. It's in the chat. The links, you guys, if you haven't signed up, you can sign up for that. And it makes, and I'm so happy because it's like I'm able to have some small amount of impact in your life to get you to like now to get to start a blog. It's like so awesome to see that. But please keep on blogging, man. I think eventually in one of the upcoming streams, I definitely want to talk about this as well. Like, how do you go about blogging and stuff like that? What other questions do people have? Let's see what other questions do people have. Any other questions do you all have about public speaking? Like how to get better and stuff. These are just some things I shared that you can. After a bad public talk, I feel demotivated. How to overcome this is a very good question. Yeah, this actually is a very very good question. I absolutely love this. Very good question, Shashi. So after a bad public talk, what do you do? So Shashi, what happens is, for me, I've given these bad public talks. Like there was one public talk where one person in the audience came up to me and you said to me that, dude, you fucking wasted my time. It was the worst 1 hour I ever spent. You should just not even do public speaking. And it was so harsh to me. And Sashi, what happened is, after actually having that comment given to me, I actually then went ahead and then bought the book, the official guide to public speaking from TED, which I shared earlier with all of you, and I actually read the whole book. And that's when I realized, after giving my a bad public talk, that I realized that I have to respect the audience's attention. I have to put in the work. An audience can always tell whether if you're just winging it or if you've actually put in the time and effort, right? Rohit is like, I have the same question. So you have to do justice, man. ये लोग तुम्हें अपना time दे रहे हैं. You have to respect that, man. They could be doing anything. So the biggest thing that happened to me after giving a bad public talk is to improve my game to the next level, to put in the work. And as far as like feeling demotivated, yes, there's no denying. I felt like shit, man. For like an entire 1 week, I was feeling like so much like shit, like, oh, I shouldn't do this again. But after like that 1 week, when things calm down, I'm a little bit more normal, and drinking some water, stay hydrated, right? I then thought about it from an engineering perspective, engineering myself. I said, okay, the talk was bad. It's already happened. There's nothing I can do about it. It was a shit fest, I know. But let's deconstruct and see what went wrong. What can I do better? And the biggest thing for me from that experience was, I did not put in the practice. I did not create a through line. I did not create any theme. There was no, literally a day before the presentation, I put together something in Keynote, made a presentation and gave it. There was no flow. There was no starting, no ending, no middle. There was no order at all. And I realized that, okay, the biggest takeaway is, instead of feeling demotivated, how can I fix this and improve myself so next time it doesn't happen? So Rohit and Shashi, to answer your question, you cannot just overcome that feeling and hide that feeling. It will come, accept it, but then channel that feeling to actually up your game to become better. Because this is not the only talk you're gonna give. This is not the only talk you're ever gonna give. You're gonna give a lot more talks about this as well. Yes. So Bhanu, you've nailed this. You have to start giving a lot of talks, a lot of practice. So like I'll give you my example. Like this is my, I would say, second live stream on YouTube, right? The first live stream, if all of you were there, I couldn't even do screen sharing. The screen sharing wasn't working, right? So, but it's going through an experience, I realized that okay, I need to fix that. Now today the feedback was there is some delay. So now my main thing would be how can I reduce that delay? Is it because of my computer? Is it because of like such a high like DSLR camera that's causing this delay? I don't know. Or do I just am okay with the delay? So with every stream and every reps, I'm trying to improve myself and trying to take myself to the next level. That's the way I'm going about doing it. So this is not one of those things that's gonna be like overnight it's gonna happen. You have to like keep on going. Okay, what's more important, a good content or the way you deliver? That's a very good question. Man, Shashi is on a roll, dude. Damn, dude. Kudos, dude. You're coming up with like amazing questions after another. So here's the thing, good content. If you have good content and people feel like really like they got something from the session, even if you're a very shitty presenter, they will tolerate that. Just like if I'm giving you a live stream, right? You will tolerate to some extent like bad video, bad audio, as long as there's some value in it, right? But let's say you can deliver in amazing manner and stuff, people will be like, oh yeah, he's a very good presenter, but the content is completely BS. So they will not like, but they will not come back again. They'll be like, yeah, man, we went to his talk and it was like just all like fancy animations, high, video quality and stuff, but we did not walk away with anything of value. So then they will just not come back again to your session, and that's not what you want. So in the case of when we have good content, there's a lot of more upside where you can actually improve your presentation skills and actually get better. But if you're very good at delivering, then you have to work on the other side, which is you have to have good content. So for me, at one point, what happened was I became very good at delivering stuff, but my content didn't have value. So people were like, bro, like you're wasting our time, man. Like, yeah, I mean, you're captivating and stuff, but the thing is, there's not solid info there. So both are two extremes and both have to convert somewhere in the middle where there's good content and there's good delivery as well. What other questions do you all have? Let's see. So let me, by the way, share something else too. Um, so as some of you might know, I'm also launching the inaugural version of Design MBA Cohort, in which I'm going to be helping designers level up their skills. And one of the main things I'm going to be focusing on, aside from financial knowledge and public speaking and stuff, is going to be like how to become a better articulator and stuff and create your own brand, which includes public speaking. So if you're interested in participating in the inaugural cohort, I would say definitely join the waitlist and let me know if you're interested. But yeah, because what I want to do is I want to keep creating a lot of this free content, help you all, but this is going to be more like intimate in like a closed group setting, where it's going to be like almost like one-on-one mentorship. So if you're interested, check it out. I'm going to put the link in the chat. No pressure. But what other questions do you all have? All right. So while you guys come up with questions, let me talk to you about what I'm going to talk about next. Like, what is the next stream going to be about? So the next stream is going to be about. So my next stream is going to be about how to start a conversation, because today we're talking about like how to become a better public speaker. One of the things I've heard from people is that, oh, if I reach out to someone, if I'm in a design event, if I'm sitting somewhere, how do you start that conversation? Like, what should the starting be? Is it like, hey, hello, how do you keep it going forward? So I'm going to post a link to this in the chat. This is going to be next Friday again. So I would say definitely sign up for this. It's going to be another live stream. But I wanted you all to be the first ones to actually know about this. So I'm gonna, let's see, how do I like share the link to this? 1 second. So there we go. Yeah, so let me just post this here. Yeah. Yeah. So sign up for this event. This is going to be next Friday, next stream. It's going to be about how do you start a conversation, and it's basically going to be about the biggest challenge that a lot of people face is how do you start this? And basically, once people start the conversation, it's very easy for them. So this is a very good question actually by Shashi. So I would say, Shashi, if you're basically like just starting out in design and trying to like get idea of like how to get started, I would say that the beginning level would be the UX UI cohort. Then once you get a little bit of experience, let's say even you just joined the design field, right? You're in the design field. So like level 1 would be the UI UX cohort, right? And then level 2, right after you finish that, would be then join the design MBA, because then you can actually you are in working in the field, right? So now that you're working in the field, you can employ all these techniques to level up your career and grow quickly and get promoted quickly. So I would say, Shashi, like if you're starting from like point zero, I would say definitely join the UI UX. And if you have some experience as freelancing or designer, a little bit of experience, then I would say design MBA makes more sense for you. Okay, Bhanu, really good question. Any tips on public speaking on Zoom? Because all my presentations and the meetings are happening remotely. So, Bhanu, this is very similar, right? Whether public speaking like this, what we have right now is in a way some form of Zoom, where it's digital, right? I'm speaking from here and I'm trying to create an experience. So, one of the things I would say, if you're going to public speak on Zoom, at least have a nice camera so people can see you. Turn on your camera. Don't turn it off, because if people just listen to audio, right? How can they actually like see your face? I would say definitely like turn on, make sure your camera's on, it's good quality. But beyond that, if you are speaking on Zoom and everybody's listening, it's the same principles we talked about. What is your through line? What is your theme for that day? Take pauses. Check if everybody's use a Zoom chat and check. Like at some point, like if you're giving a presentation on automobile and everybody's listening, take a pause after 5 minutes and say, so what do you all think about this? What are your thoughts? Just like I'm using the comments right now to see, get some gauge, get some idea. Where is everybody going with this? So use that to get an idea from the Zoom chat where everything is going. Because if you just keep on going and going, not realizing if people are following along, they want you to change, it's going to be hard. So I would say solicit feedback. And then Bhanu, even if you want to go a step above, is literally ask them after like a colleague or something like, hey, what do you think about my presentation? What is one thing that you like? What is one thing that I could be better at? Literally ask them that question. And when you ask them that question, it will clarify a lot of things for you. All right? Good question though. So once again, folks, as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a live stream next Friday about how to start a conversation. If you haven't, definitely sign up using the link. I put the link in the chat as well. But yeah, definitely check it out. Any last questions before we wrap up? Absolutely, Aditya. I'm actually happy that because I'm going to be co-teaching this with Abhinav, the UI UX cohort. So we're going to be talking there as well. But yeah, absolutely, man. And then I think this would be our last question for the day. So because I do want to wrap up around the hour mark. I think vocabulary is also very important when it comes to public speaking. So how can I improve my vocabulary? Shashi, this is a very good question. The way I think about this now, some of the best public speakers that I've studied and from my experience use very simple vocabulary. Look at these two sentences. It's very, very calm. It's tranquil. Tranquil also means calmness and serene. But tranquil is like a little bit of more like an advanced word that maybe not everybody knows about it. So when you use a word like tranquil, you've lost some people in the audience who don't know what that means. So you can use it if you feel comfortable, but my best example comes from Sudha Murthy. So my mom loves this, the Infosys founder's wife, Sudha Murthy, right? And she reads her book, and there was this video of Sudha Murthy where she's like, where someone's asking her that, what do you think makes you a very good writer? And Sudha Murthy's like, my English is good. It's not super advanced, like PhD level, where I'm using all these words like tranquil. It's the English that normal people like you and me use when we're speaking. And that's why her audience resonates with her. It's accessible. So don't get lost in this vocabulary so much that your speech is no longer accessible to everyone, Sashi. We're using words like tranquility, serenity, and all these like hi-fi words, and then when people are like, yo, like what is going on here? It's the power of the message. Think about all the famous quotes in the time in the history, right? They're very simple, using simple words, simple vocab. So don't worry about vocab. If as much as possible, remove the like the hi-fi vocab. Make it as simple as possible, so more people can resonate with you, Sashi. All right. So with that, guys, thank you so much for like Shashi Tharoor talk, right? I mean, he uses a lot of like these words, and which is fine. It's attracting like those typical type of people who want that, which is fine. But for most people, I would say, as much simple as you can keep it to be, it's only going to be helpful for you, right? So think from that perspective. So once again, I'm going to say, before we end tonight's session, this is going to be the next the next stream, how to start a conversation, how to help you with that. So I'm going to be doing that. If you haven't, I posted the link on the chat. Definitely sign up for it, and then I will see you all in the next stream, hopefully next Friday. But thank you so much everyone for joining. Dhanyawad, shukriya, namaste.